Hello. Welcome to the conference call with integration software experts Cassie Nettles and Tom Minton. All phone lines are muted. Before we begin, we'd like to remind everyone that members of the media and the press are not authorized to be on this call. If you are from the media or the press, please disconnect from the call now. Content presented on this conference call is proprietary to and are subject to the copyrights of Jeffries or third parties. Further, as a matter of legal compliance, remind you that you must not attempt to list from any speaker at this event any material non-public information or other confidential information, and accordingly the speaker may decline to respond to any question in his or her sole discretion. You may not publish or otherwise publicly disclose the name of or otherwise identify the speakers unless Jeffrey permits it in writing. By attending this event, you agree to all these restrictions. It's now my pleasure to turn the call over to Brent Thill.
Thanks, operator. Welcome to the Software Download, our ongoing call series bringing the best minds of the industry to your living room. We actually have two great minds on this call, both Cassie and Tom. We really appreciate you joining. They both work for Salesforce.com and MuleSoft, partner who provides mission-critical consulting services from strategy to implementation. Cassie, prior to serving this role, served as Director of Internal Applications, a computer and networking security company, and Tom was previously serving as a MuleSoft integration architect and as a cloud integrations architect at Capgemini. Prior to that time, he worked as a developer, programmer, and analyst at Nationwide Mortgage Lending Company for almost 2 decades. Cassie and Tom, thanks again for joining. Maybe if you could both just kick off and share, a little bit of each of your perspective and how you ended up in the Salesforce.com community and focusing kind of where you're at, and maybe just kind of bring us up to speed just in terms of where you're spending, the bulk of your time today with customers and what you're seeing in the overall environment.
Yeah, Tom, if you're okay, I'll go first.
Sure.
My name is Cassie Nettles. I've actually been in the Salesforce space for about 10 years now, and it was completely by accident. The first company that I had ever worked at who had started using Salesforce, they brought it on board, and we had a lot of legacy employees there, and no one wanted to touch this new software. So I was a month in and decided to raise my hand, and that just kicked off a 10-year span of getting deeper and deeper into the Salesforce space. For the last 3 years, I've been a consultant or consulting against Salesforce and MuleSoft, but as a solution architect. And for the last 6 months, I've actually transitioned into a new role where I spend my time working with customers and really just planning for strategic growth. We help them identify what a roadmap would look like for the first 1 to 3 years of their life cycle on the platform. And then bringing that over to our delivery team for the execution and implementation of it. So that's me, Tom, if you want to go ahead and go.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So my name's Tom Minton. I am the MuleSoft practice lead here at Advig. I was doing integrations back before they were called integrations, kind of over the last 20-ish years using generally a Microsoft stack. The company I was working for became a MuleSoft customer, and I got into it, and I loved it so much. And I ended up leading the MuleSoft practice there and then left to basically do MuleSoft full-time as a consultant. It's really a technology that made me excited for the first time in a long time, when in the IT world that doesn't happen very often. So I picked it up and ran with it. Most of the projects and clients I've worked with have been situations where they are integrating from a legacy system into Salesforce. There's a lot, especially after the merger. There's a lot of companies that are going to Salesforce and need their old ERPs, their old homegrown legacy system data either pulled in, as sort of an initial load and then kept going for reporting purposes or downstream items that might depend on that legacy system, or sometimes just full-blown two-way integrations if there's certain divisions of the company that still use the legacy system during the migration over to Salesforce. So really appreciate the opportunity here to talk about this and